So today's Tuesday, the 21st. On Sunday, the Russians bombed Chernihiv City. They injured 3 elderly women, an elderly man, and they killed a 16-year-old boy. And then another thing happened in Kiev. There was some active shooter, some man started shooting in public. And I was told that the police ran away in Kiev. I haven't heard any news officially, but that's what I've been told, and which is very odd that the police would hide, like they're afraid of the guy shooting, like he could kill people, and their job is to protect the people, and they run away. That's not good. And that's what everyone's being told happened. So I'm here getting my free Whopper. I was hoping to be the first customer, but this other married couple beat me. They ordered like a breakfast meal or something. It looks like a retired couple. Let's count how many pickles I got, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 pickles, that's a lot of pickles. But I asked for a heavy pickle. And I got what I ordered, so. They did their job. Yesterday I had 15. Today I got 10, but 10's a lot. And I think these ones are bigger. So maybe my big 10 today is the same size as. Right now the fries are fresh because I got here at 6. Yesterday when I came at 8 in the morning, the fries were cold, like they were made at 6. And these taste a ton better, lots better. What can we go? So the best time to come to Burger King is at 6 a.m. Try to get the fresh fries. I'm going to do the survey real quick. I'm doing the survey. Okay, store number 14670. Okay, so we're gonna read this without my glasses. 136. Whoops. Oh, 814. 1040. 142. 127. 7047. Still doing the survey. got my coat here. Oh, oh, wow. I pressed something and the code erased. Good thing I put it on the screen because the code erased. What? Wow. How did that happen? Let's see if I can find any news about that shooting in Kiev. Ooh, wow. So here's the news. This is just 2 days ago. Ukrainian police chief resigns after officers allegedly fled during shooting. 6 people died and 14 others injured on Saturday after a man opened fire on people in the street in Kiev's southern. Wow. The head of Ukraine's patrol police, Yevhen Zhukov, has resigned after 2 of his officers faced criticism for allegedly fleeing a deadly mass shooting in the capital of Kiev. Wow. 6 people died. Wow. 14 others injured on Saturday after a man opened fire on people in the street in Kiev's southern Volosivsky district before taking others hostage at a nearby supermarket. He was later killed in a shootout with police. Footage has since been shared online appearing to show officers leaving civilians and running away from the scene. Wow. Ukraine's Interior Minister Igor Klimenko said the officers in question had been suspended and that an investigation in their actions was underway. Serve and protect is not just a slogan. It must be supported by appropriate professional actions, especially at critical moments when people's lives depend on it, he wrote in the Telegram. However, Klimenko cautioned it is not entirely correct to make generalizations about the entire police only by the actions of 2 employees. Zhukov told the news conference on Sunday that the officers had failed to assess the situation properly and left civilians in danger. He also said that they acted unprofessionally and unworthily. As a combat officer, I have decided to submit my resignation from the position I currently hold, Zhukov said. Ukrainian authorities said they are treating Saturday's shooting as a terrorist act, but have not yet spoken about the motive. Klimenko described the man's mental state as clearly unstable. 8 people remain in hospital, of whom 1 adult is in an extremely serious condition. Wow. The 3 words, serious condition, officials said. And then the authorities say the attacker had set his apartment on fire before going on the shootings, but here's his apartment. Whoops. The shooter had been identified as a 58-year-old man who is originally from Russian capital Moscow, but who had been living in the Volosivsky district in the lead up to the shooting. Prior to this, he had lived in the eastern Donetsk region, which is largely under Russian occupation and was subject to a separatist conflict prior to Moscow's full invasion of Ukraine, officials said. The gun he used was officially registered, according to officials. They are now investigating how he obtained the necessary documents to renew his license. While Kiev is often subject to attacks during the ongoing war with Russia, shootings of this kind are rare in the city. Klimenko said there would not be a mass check of gun owners following the shooting. I believe that people should have the right to armed self-defense, especially after the experience when, in the beginning, At the beginning of the full-scale invasion, civilians received weapons for national resistance. Ukrainian citizens are permitted to own non-automatic firearms provided they meet license conditions such as not having a criminal record or a history of mental illness. Since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022, Ukrainians have been able to carry weapons for self-defense and defend their country. In a 2023 small arms survey suggested that only around 3.4% of Ukrainian adults own their own gun. This is on BBC. That's pretty crazy news. So I'm going to look it up on YouTube, see if it comes out.
Мисливський карабін, який був зареєстрований відповідно до правил у 25-му році, в грудні місяці, тобто 5 місяців тому цей карабін був відстріляний, надійшов термін його перереєстрації. Дана особа звернулася до дозвільної системи з відповідними документами, з заявою, з медичною довідкою. Ми встановлюємо зараз, який медичний заклад видавав цю медичну довідку. Ну і потім вже будуть слідством призначені всі експертизи, в тому числі і психіатрична, для того, щоб визначити, в якому стані перебувала дана особа і чому він скоїв цей злочин.
So,
terror on a Saturday afternoon in Kyiv. Several people dead and a dozen or so people injured after this man opened fire in the south of the Ukraine. Ukrainian capital.
То було видно, що він просто розстрілював людей в упор. Підходив і розстрілював. Ми бачили вже відео, яке було викладено по одному з таких фактів. Тому шансів практично людей вижити було дуже мало.
Shocking video captured by residents shows the attacker shooting people at point-blank range. Ukrainian authorities said that the 58-year-old male shot 4 people on the streets before then taking hostages in a supermarket. Authorities eventually stormed the store and killed the shooter, which freed hostages, but not before the shooter fired on 2 others, one of whom died at the scene. The other later died in hospital.
Дійсно, шок, коли бачила фотографії вбитих людей. Шок і непорозуміння, чому крім тих, що нас б'ють з неба, ще нас просто вбивають по вулиці.
The shooter was also born in Moscow and, according to the authorities, had spent a significant amount of time in Ukraine's eastern region of Donetsk. Those same authorities, though, are still investigating exactly what the motive may be behind this. Mass shootings are very rarely seen in Ukraine, despite a huge portion of the population owning a gun. This particular incident has really shaken the Ukrainian capital, which of course is no stranger to violence, but in recent years has rarely seen anything which the authorities are calling a terrorist act quite like this.
So the headline says, rare mass shooting in Ukraine. The other headline says, Ukraine is investigating a mass shooting that left 6 people dead. The other one says, mass shooting in Kiev leaves several people dead. At least 6 dead. I think one's in very critical affairs. Kiev rocked by deadly shooting. It's 6 dead, 8 injured in Kiev. Gun rampage in Kiev. Gunman shoots. Wow. Gunman said, Kiev shooting negotiator says gunman made no contact for 40 minutes while holding people hostage at the supermarket. Pretty crazy. I've been to Kiev, but that's the further southern area. Most of my time is spent in like the eastern area or central. So I haven't actually spent a lot of time in the south part of Kiev or Kyiv. It was a 40-minute hostage crisis. And the suspect was born in Moscow, Russia. But he shot 14 people and held hostages in a supermarket for 40 minutes without making contact with the police.